This is the story of one of the most well-documented UFO cases ever. This is the Falcon Lake Incident. On May 20th, 1967, Stefan Michalak, a former Polish military policeman, was out in the Precambrian Shields near Falcon Lake in Manitoba, Canada, prospecting, when he noticed a gaggle of geese freaking out. When he looked up, he saw what he described as two cigar-shaped objects hovering in the air. One of them descended, taking on a disc shape instead, as it landed in a patch of flat rock. Stefan stayed back and sketched the object, while the other, still in the air, flew away. Believing it to be some sort of experimental U.S. government aircraft, and being an industrial mechanic himself, he then approached the object and called out for anyone to respond not only in English, but also Polish, Russian, and German. All he heard in response was the whirring and humming of the object, with the smell of sulfur in the air staining his nose. Inaudible under the sound of the humming and hissing was the strange mumbling coming from what he described as a door on the side of the behemoth leading to a room with bright lights. Stefan put on his welding mask, which he had been using on his journey to procure quartz, and took a look deeper inside the ship, where he found no signs of life. As he stepped away, 3 panels slid shut in the place of the doorway. He reached out to touch the object, and he claimed the glove he was wearing began to melt. The craft then began to rotate counterclockwise to reveal a grid-like series of vents, and before he knew it, Stefan was thrown back by a blast of air or gas that set both his shirt and his cap on fire. As he ripped away the burning clothes, the craft lifted off and flew away, while Stefan stumbled through the forest, vomiting and disorientated, but eventually made his way back to his hotel room, where he took a bus back to his family's home in Winnipeg. He was later treated at the hospital for the burns on his chest and stomach, which later formed a grid-like pattern. The incident was investigated by multiple different government agencies, including, but not limited to, the United States Air Force and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, all of which could not find an explanation for what had happened to him. Stefan later required treatment for possible psychiatric problems, in which it was determined that nothing was out of the ordinary. Stefan passed away in 1999, and his son, Stan, maintains that while his father never explicitly stated he encountered a UFO and still considered it a secret military craft to his dying day, he also said he had no explanation for what his father might have seen that day. To this day, the only thing that remains from the circumstances are a few radioactive pieces of metal which had risen out of the cracks in the crash site and Stefan's clothes. The crafts were never seen again.